I mean, if you're new to my channel, I guess everyone is new to my channel. It is important for me to say that I will make bilingual content on this platform specifically, simply because I enjoy both speaking in Vietnamese and speaking in English, and both are very important parts of my identity, and I don't want to forfeit any of it. So let's get to today's video. Talk about how I went from this high school diploma to my 100%, I feel so awkward, in scholarship money. Sorry guys. This is my high school diploma from the IBDP. This is my VinUni acceptance package, 3.2 billion Vietnam dong. And this is a complete guide to applying to VinUniversity. Let's go. I have like a full unboxing at the end of my first video, so you can go check that out. Let's put on an academic pair of glasses, even though I have like very cute falsies on. Before we like totally begin diving into the components, let's just talk briefly about the first step you need to do to start an applications to VinUniversity. So you just go to the VinUniversity website, you click on the admission section on the home bar. My English is not Englishing today. You go to the undergraduate section. That gets you to kind of like a page of your application process. I mean, you can just scroll all the way down from that page and then click apply now. If I'm going to be honest, I do think that they should have a button on the top of the page just to make this more accessible, because why is it so hard to find? That gets you to the VinUni My Site login. Just make an account and then we shall begin. It is fairly similar to an US applications in the sense that you have to put out the entirety of your extracurriculars and essays onto the applications, which differs a little bit from the rest of the world, where the academic and supercurriculars are usually more preferred over the entirety of your extracurricular activities. But you know what, we're going to get to that in a different video. For me, there are 6 major elements to the VinUni application: the essay, the profile, the CV, additional documents, and finally financial aid. There's 7 components, which are AACC, or Ability, Aspiration, Creativity, and Commitment. It's also very important, even though it's not like physically a separate sections of the application, but it is a very important kind of like underlying element in your application process. So we're going to have a separate section for that as well. Let's start with the essay. In recent years, the essay prompt has been geared towards commitment and aspiration, very similar to a US application's common app essay or personal statement, but it is a little bit more guided. So like it's very in between what you would write for UK universities and US university, like it's right there in between. In these essays, from what I see, people usually talk about a project that they dedicated a lot of time to, which is what I did, or maybe an activity that they spent many years or just the majority of their lives doing. I mean, it's an essay. It's very straightforward. I'm not going to talk about, you know, the structure and all of that bullshit, because I think that's very flexible. But I have 2 very important advice that I think should be incorporated into your essay writing process. The first element is authenticity. I'm going to try to reason to you why honesty is the best policy when it comes to your personal statement in your essay. It has to be you, it has to be honestly you, and it has to be uniquely you. By that I mean, stop fucking reading sample essays. It doesn't work like that, nah. You know, be truthful, be whimsical if you're whimsical, be monotonous if you're monotonous, be extremely nerdy if you're nerdy. Students probably share a lot of similarities, and the more you try to be perfect, the more you kind of conform to the normalities that every student has of this like perfect con nhà người ta picture. And that doesn't actually help set you apart. What sets you apart is your personal stories and what you actually went through and what you actually learned. Like that is something that other people probably cannot copy, because they live different lives, they have different experience. Like no one is going to live your exact life, so the best way to be unique is tell your actual lived experiences and the lesson that you learned along the way. Also, the fake trying to be perfect you probably just going to look a little bit tacky. That's probably like the biggest advice I can give you. I know it's kind of corny, but again, it's very true. And then second of all, try to connect it to your aspiration. This is coming from a personal experience of what I did with my essay, so don't take it too hard. This could work, but that does not mean that it's the only way that works. But let me explain. Let's just paint the picture that you're a dancer, but you actually want to pursue a career in law, like your aspiration is law. And because you are very smart with your application, you tell them about your dancer experience. You tell them that you're a detail-oriented person. Dancings make you very resilient, disciplined, which in turn actually makes you a good fit for law, and your personal interest in reading about politics, about legal frameworks and diplomacy inspires you to take a career in law. And especially after being in the community, you want to be a lawyer to represent the underprivileged creative artists and dancers in the community. What I meant to say is that there's no past experience that are done in vain, that are completely disconnected to a major that you decided to choose in university. Everyone, this is not unique to VinUniversity. I think a lot of people that you're going to meet in the future want to know that you're serious about the choices that you made in the past. And regardless of the activities that you take, as long as it is somewhat meaningful to you, then it has something to contribute to how you think about your future and the choices that you're going to make in the future. As I explained with the dancer and the law example, even if dancing is not exactly something that people would normally connect it with someone who aspired to be a law student, there are elements of that dancing experience that can inspire a person to take up a career in law. I think regardless of how much aimlessness you feel like you do have, you came to your major decision for a reason. And you have to sit down and think about why that you came to that decision. And if you cannot come to an answer why you made the choice that you did, then that might be a sign that you should think harder. And if at some point during that thinking process you feel like, oh no, this major is not for me, you're actually on the right track. Well, I've been yapping so much. Is it okay? Like, is it too far-fetched? If I would do my CV and activity list together at the same time, simultaneously. So we all know that VinUniversity has their own format of a CV. This is the template that they put on their website. We're going to get to that later. Let's talk about the actual activity list that you put on your application on the VinUni My Site account that I talked about at the beginning of this video. You know, aside from the personal informations like blah, 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 that is self-explanatory, common sense, there are two parts that you should take very careful considerations of what you write. First one is the award sections of your academic informations, and then the second one is your non-academic achievements, which are just your extracurricular activities. Boy, this is giving me The other element that I was talking about is your VinUniversity CV, which also has your activity list and awards and, you know, a little about me section. The difference? Oh boy, your application has so much more space for you to talk about them. The word count is significantly higher than your CV. The reason why that I'm telling you to do your CV and activity list simultaneously, and the reason why that I did them simultaneously, is that I have to be strategic about how I use my word count, about what I'm going to put in my applications and then what I'm going to put on my CV to both highlight the essence, which are the meaning of why I did these activities, and the quantifiable results of these activities. So what I did basically is I talk about my roles, the meaning of the organizations, the reason that I set it up on my actual applications, whereas I put a little bit more priorities on quantifiable achievements, and I'm talking like numbers, impacts on my actual CV. Because I know that they're going to scan my CV and I know that they're going to be impressed. Kinda, not sure. After they are impressed, they will go on to my activity list on my applications and they can read about, you know, why did I choose these activities and what are my exact roles in these activities to achieve those results. Or even if it was the other way around, because I talk so excessively about, you know, the meaning parts in my applications, they will probably be curious, okay, how much, you know, quantifiable results did she make out of all these dedication? And that's where they have my CV. It is best for me not to repeat any of these informations too much on both sections and only repeat those that I deem are very important and I need them to significantly remember. What you're going to see now is an comparisons of the same activity but on my application versus on my CV, just for a better example. So you know, I have a little bit of a cold right now. My throat is aching like crazy. Looking at my IB diploma is giving me a lot of trauma. So we're going to, since for personal health reasons, we're going to have to pause our video here for now, and I will see you with the rest of my guide when I'm better. I love it. I'm so tired. Why do I get sick so easily? I'm also given a log of the dean of my college. At first this is going to be like a 2-part video, but I'm getting the feeling that it's going to be much longer.